everyone, and welcome to today's book talk. My name is Karen and I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite stories growing up as a child. It's called Sadie and the Snowman. Sadie and the Snowman is something that I read with my mom all the time growing up. I just absolutely loved it. I loved the storyline. The story is by Alan Morgan and illustrated by Brenda Clark. The story is basically about a girl named Sadie who builds her snowman in the winter. She builds a snowman but has it last a very long time. As you know, when spring comes, the snow begins to melt, but Sadie didn't want her snowman to melt. She thought of a way to preserve her snowman all the way until the next winter. I think this story is really great to read with your students in the wintertime. Obviously, it's spring out and you want to be thinking about flowers blooming and sunshine, but this is just a really great story to read around the holiday season or when the first snowfall hits. So I think it's just a great story overall and really fun for the students. I think they really can interact well with it, make predictions on it, really connect with it because it's a child as the main character. So one activity that I did come up with though for this story is a synonym activity. Now, synonyms mean words that are very similar or almost the same, and students do need to realize that. So I came up with a little activity where I wrote down a bunch of words from the story on little sticky notes, and I placed them in a little jar. You can use whatever you have, a dish, a jar. And for example, you would go around and have each student, without looking, pick out a word. When the time is right, you can have the students read their word. So I picked out the word big. Now, students would have to think for a moment, give them time to think, what is a synonym for this word? What do synonyms mean? What does the word mean in front of you? And then think of a synonym for the word. So after a minute of thinking, I could say a synonym for big is large. Another example, I have the word sad. Give your students about 30 seconds to think, what is a synonym? What does the word sad mean? What's a word very similar to sad? And I could think, a synonym for sad could be upset. And finally, let's think of another word here. Let's pick out one more. How about the word good? So the word good is really used very frequently, but students could think of another word other than good. So after giving them think time, another word for good could be great. Now by doing this activity, it's really physically giving the students the word. So the word done. When you read the word done in the story, they might not see it. It's small print, they're sitting on the rug, they're not seeing the word physically. When they have the word in their hand, they're sounding it out, they are seeing how it's spelled, they're thinking, what does this word mean? So it's really giving them a lot of word work with this activity. So overall, I do think that this story is a great story to read with your students, especially during the winter time. It really helps the students connect with the character, it helps them brainstorm, and really the message of the story is Sadie never giving up and thinking of creative ways that she can preserve her snowman until next winter. So overall, I do think that Sadie and the Snowman is a great story, and I think you as a teacher will have a great time reading it with your students.